Alright, Sunday morning, and Mind Circus here with you. And what I'm going to do is expand on an earlier tutorial. I think it was tutorial 4. It's called A Little Magic. This will be called A Little Magic Part 2, oddly enough. And you're going to understand it. It's just a quick tip, and we're going to go back to talking about the layer blend options and give you a couple of quick tricks to expand on what we've been doing so far to produce some quick eye candy that a lot of people will just take a look at and go, holy shit. So, here we go. What I've done here is I've grabbed a piece of line art. I really like this line art, and we're just going to copy this. Line art, of course, being anything black and white. And I've already got a 2000 by 2000 image open, so we're just going to go ahead and paste that in here. Now, one thing to know about grabbing line art off the web is that sometimes it's done from old-fashioned scans. And what that means is when we go in on this picture and you take a look at it, see that yellow border there? That happens a lot when we scan things. You also may notice points in your picture, maybe not on this one, but on other pieces of black and white where you can see paper folds and stuff like that. Two things you want to do before you go on messing about with a piece of line art. And the first one is you want to go ahead and make it black and white. Now there's a couple of different ways you can do that. My favorite way to make something black and white is just to colorize it with a saturation value of 0. Doesn't matter what the hue is. Saturation just means there's absolutely no color saturated into the into the image. So now when we go back in here, our yellow line is gone. If we get in here, we can see these little black and white dots in here. And again, that's a byproduct of a scan. So what we're going to do on top of that is we're also just going to adjust the brightness and contrast. And if we put the contrast up sufficiently, and then we go in here, perfect. This way we're not going to get any weird stray pixels anywhere over the effect that we're trying to do. What I want to do is kind of make this fox head glow, but I want to do it in a slightly different way. So what I'm going to do, obviously, if we are going to be making it glow, is I'm going to make a negative image out of the fox head, so I've got the white. Okay? Nothing too complicated so far. Now I'm going to duplicate this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blur the duplicated layer. And I'm going to Gaussian blur this pretty aggressively. I'm thinking at about a 17. Yeah, let's go for 20 and see what happens out of that. So we've set this for 20. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make another duplicated version of the original image. So don't duplicate, or I guess we could actually just duplicate the blur layer. Makes sense too. Save ourselves a little bit of work. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the first blur layer, and we're going to set this for exclusion. We're going to grab the second blur layer, and we're going to set it for soft light. Boom. And that really is it. That's all it took to get that effect. So, what can we do with this effect? Let's think about the other tutorial. And really what we're going to do here is we're just going to merge the 3 layers now that have kind of created this effect. Merge all these layers. So now we're back to the image and the black layer. And one thing that we have to keep aware about with this method, and you can barely see it here, but there's a little haloing around the box that the image was in. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of that fairly quickly just by inverting our selection around the object and deleting that. Make sure that's gone. Sure is. Alright, and now to the magic. Just saved a picture here. paste that in. We'll blow it up just to give ourselves a good idea of what we're doing here. Now let's move the picture under the fox head and set our fox head for lighten. Oops. How about we don't set the original image for lighten? Set back to normal. We'll set the fox head for lighten. And there you see we're starting to get this really nice effect out of it. We can bring around. A lot of people kind of ask me how I do that, so there it is. I'm pretty partial to the effect that it gives out. Obviously, when we set it to lighten, it gradates that way. We can go try a couple of different layer blend options. Dodge is pretty sweet. Overlay doesn't do much. Now, let's go back to lighten. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys about this little trick is this thing that we've created here is like just about anything else, and if we go and adjust our hue and saturation values and colorize it, give it some saturation this time, there we go. So there you go, some quick cheap eye candy for your Sunday morning. I hope that works out for you and that you get some use out of it.